Hello, welcome to the interview of To Kill a Mockingbird. I am the interviewer, Mr. Interview. Today we will be interviewing the author of To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee. And not only are we interviewing Harper Lee, we will also interview two main characters of the book, Atticus Finch and Scout Finch. Let's start the interview with Mr. Atticus Finch. Atticus, what was your role in Tom Robinson's case?
I was defending Tom Robinson against Mr. Ellio's accusations that Robinson had assaulted and raped Mayella Elwell. I must say that I'm not happy with the results of this case, but that's how this world works, at the moment at least.
Thank you, Mr. Atticus. Another question. How is your relationship with your children after the case?
The kids have been shaken down to their roots. They're too young to have experienced something like this. At the same time, however, it let me introduce them to the cruel reality of this world. This might have been a better way to present it to them in any other way.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Atticus. That is all the questions I have for you. I will now be interviewing another main character of the book, Scout Finch. Hello, Scout. My first question for you is, what is your relationship with Atticus?
Why? He be my father. He says himself to be a lawyer and he's working on a case. You know, the one with that Negro. He get he get called by names by some people, but he says to be, I think, tolerant of them. To keep my head still up. He's the best man in town. I know that.
Very interesting. Thank you, Scout, for sharing. Now, what do you think of your Aunt Alexandra?
She's my father's sister, and she's pretty ladylike. She tries to teach me proper etiquette, but I don't think that's exactly for me. She may be my aunt, but I view Calpurnia as my mother figure.
Amazing information. That is all the questions I have for you, Scout. Thank you. Let's interview the legendary author of To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee. Mrs. Lee, where were you originally from?
Well, I was born and raised in Monroeville, Alabama, the same state where my book, To Kill a Mockingbird, took place.
Wow, I never knew that. Thank you, Harper. Now, may I ask, how does this book relate to your life?
To Kill a Mockingbird actually has a lot of common with my life. Like Scout, I was a tomboy when I was younger, and my father was a lawyer like Atticus. Although my mother was around, she was not a mother figure, just like how Scout and Jem did not have a mother. The story takes place in 1930s, where I was growing up.
Far out. Those are some interesting facts. Final question. What was the reason you wrote To Kill a Mockingbird?
Many people speculate that I wrote the book as an autobiography, but really as a statement about the civil rights movement, to make a change of social prejudice and to influence the idea of a free and fair world.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee, for your time and sharing your incredible information with me. Now here are some requests from fans. One fan asks for 4 significant quotes from the book and why they are significant. Another asks why is this book is timely based on current or recent events. One quote is, "You never understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it." This is an important quote, because it is one of the many moral lessons Atticus gives Scouts about life. The second quote is, "There's some folks who don't eat like us," she whispered fiercely, "but you ain't called on to contradict them at the table when they don't. That boy's your company, and if he wants to eat up the tablecloth, you let him, you hear? He ain't company, Cal. He's just a Cunningham." This is a significant quote because Scout learns to respect other people's differences and be polite to company. The third quote is, "There are just some kind of men who are so busy worrying about the next world they have never learned to live in this one, and you can look down the street and see the results." This quote is important because this is what Miss Maudie tells Scout when she sees a lot of people wasting their time doing one thing when they could be living their life. The final quote is, "Jem wanted Dill to know once and for all that he wasn't scared of anything, it's just that I can't think of a way to make him come out without him getting us." Besides, Jem had his little sister to think of. When he said that, I knew he was afraid. This is another significant quote because it's okay to be ashamed of being scared. This book is timely based on recent events because many groups of people are being turned against due to affiliation, Muslims and the terrorists, while others are still facing prejudice even today after years of trying to change how they are viewed, such as the blacks and what happened in Ferguson, Missouri. And finally, the theme of this book is, race does not determine if you live a good life. This concludes the interview of To Kill a Mockingbird. Thank you for joining me and I hope you have gained more knowledge than you have before.